if you're looking at your plug from head on, remember the clip upright? Your black and white wire is going to be this guy right here. So that's also, I believe, number 3 on the Haynes manual. Now that is basically your communication from the module to the coil. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have to attach a actual in-series test light to here and then to our positive battery terminal. And then I'm going to go ahead and crank the engine while you guys observe and see if it blinks. It should be blinking kind of pale, kind of dim, but it should blink pretty continuously if there's any sort of communication happening. And then alternatively, we could test the power from the PCM wire in a similar way, which is only going to be like 1 to 4 volts. Because remember, it's just a trigger wire. It just needs to be enough to set off the rest of the system. That's it. It doesn't have to power anything, just has to trip it off and say, hey, time to go. So low voltage, right? Low voltage, low amperage, just like any sort of signal wire for like your tail lights or anything of that nature. So this is going to be a very dim light, so we're going to keep this side dark over here. I'm going to have you guys set up in the dark and monitoring the actual test light itself. Okay, so the very first thing we got to do is make sure our test light actually works. So we're going to go negative to positive. Yeah, we're getting light, so we're good. You see, I just have it jammed into that pin number 3, which is the black and white wire, and then I have it connected to positive terminal of the battery over here. I'm going to go behind the wheel, I'm going to crank it, and let's see. Well, I unfortunately didn't see any light. I somehow just can't believe that it has to go to the positive terminal. Somehow that just doesn't make any sense. I'm going to try with the negative terminal this time and see what happens. We found an error in the Haynes manual. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Call somebody who cares. Because we're the new Titans now. Guess what? There is an incorrect statement in the almighty Haynes manual. It is not a positive terminal. Why would it be a positive terminal? It makes no sense. The power is already coming from the ignition control module. It needs to ground somewhere or go to neutral. Why the hell would you attach it to positive? It doesn't add up. But because we use our fuzzy fixin' brain, we figured this out. And we decided, well, you know what? Something doesn't add up here. We tried it a couple different ways according to the manual. The positive doesn't make sense, but we decided to rule that out anyway. Well, clearly, if it's a trigger wire, then it's receiving power from a different source and needs to ground or go to neutral. So let's go to the negative battery terminal. And lo and behold, what happened? It came on, actually much brighter than I anticipated. So that's a huge relief. That means the PCM is working, because this is a shortcut way to test your PCM as well, too. Not just the ignition control module, but your ignition control module is triggered by the PCM. So if this didn't work,